Well, to say that was a big game for us would be an understatement. I think people are going to look at a Northwestern loss or a Penn State win and think of years ago. And I'm going to tell you, for you Penn State people, that's a good basketball team. They have experience, they have shooters, and an excellent coach. Micah does a hell of a job, boy. The prep for this game was off the charts, and I give our assistants credit. But I told our players today at breakfast, that I could just tell we were a little down and we were a little tired, and I said, people are messing with your character now. When your character has to reach down, and you got to learn how to get up. I told them that I watched Jimmy V and Dick Vitale last night, and we're all going to go through some tough times, and so that was the battle cry. You got to get yourself up off the ground, and I thought we did a hell of a job. I mean, we had some moments when we weren't great, but that team's good. He presents so many different lineups with the small and big, and I just can't speak enough for AJ and Joey and Tyson, and even Jaden Akins and Pierre. They were better. Our centers, Jackson actually did a better job. Monty struggled a little bit early, and we had some different coverages, and he struggled a little bit. But all in all, to end the 9 games of hell, that was a hell of a way to end it.
Tom, that late in that first half, AJ, you had that 5-second call. Yet for a second he kind of put his head down, but then he comes back with a steal, 3-point play, rebound, 3-point play. Is that kind of what you're looking for, AJ, and all this and his kind of maturation process?
Well, that's what I told him at the end of the game. I said, you wonder why I was upset with you, I mean, I was. I made I don't keep my stuff quiet. I said it just like it was, and I told you guys that when I didn't start him, why I didn't start him. And I thought he tried to lead. He played under control. He did a hell of a job guarding Pickett, who's a hell of a player. And I just thought he competed, and I really appreciated that. And hopefully at the end there, when he's making those free throws, you guys remember when he couldn't make a free throw to save his life his first 2 years of existence here, and I yelled at him then too. And I said, man, am I happy I didn't give up and quit jumping you for that, because he worked on it this summer. And right now I think he's shooting about 89% from the line, and it definitely won us this game.
Over on the right.
Tom, there was a minute or a moment with about 1:50 to go in a game where you and Micah shook hands, and that's unique. I don't know that I haven't seen much of that. Could you share what the message was there?
Yeah, I thought one of my guys said something to him, and I just told him if that happened, I'm sorry. And he said, hey, not at all. And he's a class guy, I'm telling you, you guys are lucky to have him, because he's going to do a hell of a job here. I mean, it's just starting. And, but yeah, there's a few of us coaches that still get along and, won't fight over the NIL and the transfer portal. We're not, us two aren't fighting over that, trying to rob each other's players or anything. So I think Micah was classy on his part, but it was over really nothing. I just wanted to make sure he knew that I wasn't putting up. If one of my guys was talking to him, that wasn't going to happen.
Tom, can you speak to the sort of significance of this in terms of what it does for the vibe the next 3 weeks, for the team's mojo a little bit, getting some confidence back and things?
Well, as I said, since the 11th, we played, I don't know what my math is, but 27 days or 26 or 28, we played 9 games. And now in the next, from the 7th here till January 4th, 3rd, that's another 26 days. We have 3 games. So the significance is we get to practice. And even though I'm at the state near Philadelphia, where my good friend and my Hall of Fame partner, Allen Iverson, stated practice, at Michigan State, practice is a necessity, especially when you got so many young and new guys and getting these injured guys back. So there will be a lot of practice, because there's been almost none. And I think the significance is now you practice with some wins, with a win under your belt, and it just leads to a lot of things. It was a big win for us, because I knew this would be a tough place to play. They're starting to get crowds again. They're starting to do some things. This is this is great for Big Ten basketball because he's going to do the job here, and it'll be to the point where those students that fill that football stadium, they'll be filling this stadium, and when they do, they'll win even more games. So it was a good win for us.
In the back.
Tom, year 1 to year 2, what have you seen from Micah Shrewsbury's squad and just his demeanor and style of coaching? I mean, you're one of the best, you've been at it for so long. From the outside looking in, what do you think he's done well so far?
God, just about everything, you know. I think they're better defensively. I think some guys that maybe took some bad shots in the past, in my humble opinion, they run some great stuff. Guys are taking good shots. He's done a hell of a job of utilizing Pickett. It's not easy to do that, you know, where kind of like Jay Wright did with Villanova, you know, where he backs those guys down and he sprays that ball. We did a pretty good job on their threes. They missed a couple of good threes, though, in all fairness and honesty. But, you know, you listen to them, you hear people talk about him. I'd be wrapping my arms around him if I was a Penn State fan because he's got a good 20-year stretch here that he could be a hell of a coach.
Up front.
Tom, they flipped the student section to behind the benches this year. You played in the stadium a lot of times. How much did that change? How much do you feel that changed, and how much impact did that have in the game tonight?
You know, I told one kid that was kind of getting on me that I'm not used to that. You know, usually it was the money people sitting there, and they were all prim and proper and nice. And I said right away when I walked out, "Oh no," and they were a little harsh early, but it was awesome. I mean, that's what it's supposed to be. You know, they were not. It was classy. It was. I think great move by the administration. I think the pregame, you know, you can just see this program is coming, you know, and that's a big thing, though, having the students there for 2 reasons. One is to drive the other coach crazy, which they did a good job of, and 2, I think for TV and that, you know, gives a good view of what, you know, I've always marveled in football here how they get so many students at those games, and since we don't play here again this year, I want to tell all those students, get here for all those other Big Ten games and give those coaches a lot of hell.
Great.
Tom, I'm wondering, you, having looked at this team for 9 games with different lineups and iterations, and tonight you go 4 guards around Joey, and you've got, you know, what are you, when you do get those 3 weeks with a lot more practice, what are you intrigued that you've seen to try to get out of this team, and what have they shown you, and if you can give me any detail on that?
Well, they're versatile, and you know what? You guys didn't give me any credit for 20 years. Most of you have been ripping me about playing zone. I played 3 possessions of zone at the end of the game, and you didn't even pick it up. That's because you're not that good. That's what I've been telling you guys, that, you know, you shouldn't try to coach my team. You didn't even see that. But all kidding aside, we did play 3 possessions of zone at the end. My staff suggested it. We hadn't really worked on it much, but we were having trouble with the way they were just dribble driving us. And, you know, I realized I got a lot of different lineups. You know, getting Jaden back helps a lot, and I thought Pierre was a lot better tonight, you know. And like I said, we were pleased with Jackson. He did some good things in there early, and then it was just hard to play him. And even Marty's son, because those ball screens, they were doing such a good job with them. And I didn't think we did a very good job covering them because we didn't have a lot of prep time to do it. And so I think all those things will be able to do some things now that get us ready for different kinds of teams, and we can go with different lineups ourselves. I just can't wait till we get everybody back and on track.
I'll go back and check the film for you.
Yeah, you'll be proud of me.
There was a moment late in the game, it was still a 1-point game, and Tyson had a couple good looks from 2 and popped in and out, and you kind of gave him like a double fist pump, and he hits that 3. I mean,
Yeah.
It just the way that kid has matured over the last year now, and some of the stuff he's gone through lately. How big are those moments?
Those moments are big, you know, and I'm softening too. Usually I would have jumped him for missing those. No, all kidding aside, he did, and he did exactly what we asked him. The way they were playing the ball screen, we wanted him to snake it, and he took 2 great shots. I think he was tired. I mean, there's a kid who's played a ton of minutes in these last 9 games. I think he's averaging 37 minutes in those 9 games, and he did a hell of a job, you know. But, you know, the greatest part of coaching is when players respond to confrontation. And AJ did. Joey did. I called him out a little bit today. I thought the walkthrough, he was just so-so. Tyson the other night, and if this team gets to be that way where we're all on the same page together, there'll be less confrontation and more of those kind of moments because they're trying to do what we want them to do, and we're listening to them. They had some great suggestions on some things in some of those huddles, so I'm proud of them too.
Time for a couple more.
You know what? I was really proud of Malik Hall, because he came into two of those huddles and said some things, and that's why he's gonna be so valuable to get back. He's a very intelligent player.
Second row.
Coach, you guys held Penn State, who's first coming into the night, first in the country in 3 points per game, to 29.6% from beyond the arc. What went into that, defensive preparation for Penn State beyond the arc?
Yeah, we tried not to double with any of our wings onto Pickett, and we did a little bit with our big, and we tried to let AJ just handle him. But, like I said, we deserve some credit because we did a good job. But they missed a couple of really good shots, if I was to be honest about it. But they're not supposed to make them all, even though they're one of the best in the country. And they missed a couple good ones. And I thought we did a decent job of staying home most of the time. Hard to do. They get a lot of movement in their offense. And I'm like I said, I'm going to be a big fan now for 3 months because I don't have to play them again until the Big Ten tournament.
David, over here on the right.
Tom, Pickett means so much to this team, and you must have made a decision at one point or another that you could guard him pretty much straight up with Hogarth without doubling. Did you even consider the other, or were you pretty confident that he's big enough and strong enough to handle him?
No, I'm not confident in anything right now. I've been reeling myself, but we did try to double a little bit with our center. That's why they got some of those dumped in. They fumbled a couple of them. Those would have been layups. But if we doubled with anybody outside, we knew those shooters were getting those inside-out kickouts because Pickett is very good. But, hey, don't put anything past Lundy either. He's really improved, I think, and I'm impressed with the freshman center. I thought the guy that didn't get as many shots was Funk.
Yeah.
And I don't know if we did a good job or we self-checked, because we've had a couple guys do that before. So, because I've seen him make some shots that are unbelievable. So, that was the game plan with AJ. He's strong enough, but Pickett's a load. He's a good player, but that's not a one-person team. He just does a good job going to certain offenses under certain circumstances, like at the end when he went with that small ball. That was a panic for us. We knew it was coming, and we went small, and that's where I'm really proud of Hauser. I thought AJ did a great job defensively. I think he is one of the better defense, but Hauser's defense was much improved tonight.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks,
We'll have
guys.
players outside our offense.
Thanks, Max.
Thanks, David.
I can't believe after all these years.